Man, you guys already know how I get down. We talk about Tom Ford, I'm going to come correct. All right? I'm coming correct. That's all I got to say. Top 10 current Tom Ford private blend fragrances. Let's go. YouTube, what's going on, man? It's your boy Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. We talk about fashion and fragrance on this channel. So if you're into smelling good and looking great, you have found the right channel. Make sure you hit subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell as well. So that way when I upload a new video, you guys don't miss out. You get notified, hopefully at some point. That's the goal. So on today, guys, I'm going to be jumping into one of my favorite brands. That's Tom Ford. I have an extensive Tom Ford fragrance collection, and I got some new acquisitions to my private blend collection. So that made me want to go and really examine the private blends and see what my top 10 would be. Now, this was extremely difficult to do this list because, sincerely, there were about 20 that were really in real contention to be in the top 10. So I really had to, go back, smell them, put them on a test strip on my skin. I took some time out to really compile this list, is what I am saying. So these are the 10 right now in 2023 that I would say are the top 10 from the private blend collection. So if you want to see what's on the list and how I have ranked my top 10, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump into the video. Before I actually get to the top 10, let me say really quickly, this particular week we are running a discount on the fragrances I've done with Navitus Parfums, which I have 5 fragrances that were released that I've done in collaboration with Navitus. One of them is discontinued. That's Serenade. But you can still get your hands on Lyrik, Divine Aphrodisiac, Eau Debonair, and Sartorio Nui. All fantastic fragrances, and right now we're running a promotion for this week where if you buy one, use the code BOWTIE25, you get 25% off of that fragrance. But if you get more than one, then use the code BOWTIE50 to get 50% off of that particular purchase. So do it, guys, while supplies last. Support your boy and add my fragrances to your collection. And now, without further ado, let's get into the top 10. Now, I want to say really quickly, there were a few fragrances when I really narrowed it down that just missed the top 10. That was Lavender Extreme. I am a huge lavender fragrance lover, and that's a lavender kind of vanilla fragrance. I love that one. Hate that it doesn't come in the 100 ml bottle, but Lavender Extreme and Lost Cherry were definitely 2 fragrances that I had to mention that were just outside of the top 10, as well as Vanille Fatale. All right, so let's jump into the top 10. Coming in at the 10th spot in my Tom Ford private blend collection is this one right here, and it is Rive d'Ambre. Rive d'Ambre. I hate the fact that this is I can only get a 50 ml of this because most of the other ones I have 100. But anyway, this is going to be, of course, citruses. You get bitter orange. They're just kind of amber. The amber accord in this is really highlighted by the note of Tolu Balsam in this fragrance. And I think this stands for like River of Amber, if I'm not mistaken, the translation. And that's exactly what it is. I really love the contrast here of the, that bitter orange and citrus, the citrus accords in the opening, and how it is kind of contrasted by the amber. Because that's really what you get. You get a lot of that citrus, a lot of that kind of orange, lemony feel in the opening of this fragrance. And then when it starts to dry down, it gets a little bit sweeter. And then you get that kind of balsamic, ambery accord that starts to come in. Again, that is really highlighted by the note of Tolu Balsam. And just a phenomenal fragrance, man. Absolutely love this stuff. It's really hard to do a Tom Ford private blend top 10. So I know this is probably on a lot higher on other people's lists. But for me, It's in the 10th spot. But that's not saying much because I love all 10 of these fragrances. But the 10th spot goes to this one right here. And this is Rive d'Ambre. All right, now coming in the 9th spot. I know this fragrance is probably a lot higher on some people's list, but on my list is number 9. This is Tuscan Leather. This is Tuscan Leather. Now, I really love this fragrance, but I'll give my rationale in just a moment. But this is leather, raspberry, saffron. Oh, man, this thing right here smells phenomenal. Now, I love Tuscan Leather. That's first, let me say that. Again, love the raspberry in here, love the leather, love the saffron, which really adds to that kind of leathery nuance. It's almost like getting a double dose of leather in this fragrance. The reason why it's kind of here because Tom Ford came out with ombre leather, and to me, that's just as good, if not better, sometimes based on how I'm kind of feeling, than Tuscan Leather. Now, not to take away from the brilliance of this fragrance, but sometimes when you have another fragrance from the same brand that's almost the same thing, it kind of diminishes the overall prestige, if you will, of that fragrance. And that's kind of sort of what happened here. But I love this fragrance. Like I said, you get that nice raspberry leathery thing going on here. It gets kind of warm on the dry down. Primarily, I want to highlight the note of suede in Tuscan Leather. Very warm, slightly sweet kind of nuance when it dries down. It's a great scent. Again, guys, I love all 10 of these fragrances. But just if I had to put them in order, right now, this will be in the 9th spot. Again, this is Tuscan Leather. All right, the next fragrance, guys, coming in the 8th spot. This is fucking fabulous. All right, this is fucking fabulous. That comes in at the 8th spot. And this is basically lavender, leather, and primarily to my nose, you get that almond, tonka bean, vanilla dry down. So that almond gives that kind of nutty nuance to this. And again, I love tonka bean and vanilla, especially when they're used together in fragrances. And that's really what this fragrance is at the end of the day. I know this one was kind of hit and miss for some people, but for me, it was an absolute home run. I want to make sure I kind of emphasize the fact that if I were like rating these on a scale of 1 to 10, from number 10, which is Rive d'Ambre, up to the number 1 fragrance on this list, everything is at least a 8.8, 8.9 on a scale of 1 to 10 to my nose, to my liking. So that's how close these fragrances are, seriously. So the 8th spot goes to this one right here. This is fucking fabulous. All right, this next fragrance should come as no surprise to a lot of you that have been following me for a while, because I love the note of rose. So the 7th spot goes to this one. This is Noir de Noir. Noir de Noir comes in at the 7th spot. And of course, this is a rose-based fragrance. You're going to get some truffle in here and patchouli primarily. All right, that patchouli definitely comes off as kind of chocolatey because of all the other notes in this fragrance. But love this. This is a really sensual and seductive, creamy rose fragrance. And again, I really love it. Now, there's a lot of other fragrances on the market that kind of have a similar DNA to this one. But at the end of the day, this to me was the originator of this kind of rose fragrance, if that makes sense. That really sultry, creamy rose fragrance. And that's what you're going to get with this one. Absolutely love this stuff. It's magic when it hits the skin. And that's why it's in the 7th spot. Again, this one is the rose fragrance from the bunch. This is Noir de Noir. All right, guys, coming in at the 6th spot. Again, this is one of those fragrances that have been discontinued. Hopefully one day Tom Ford will bring this one back, because I think it would have a huge following. I think there's a pretty nice demand out here for it. And this one's called Plum Japonais. Plum Japonais, unfortunately, it is discontinued. But what you're going to get out of this is cinnamon, plum, immortelle, and amber. So again, plum is a really, in my humble opinion, the way I would describe it, is a really seductive note. All right, plum is really seductive. Pomegranate as well. Some of those notes that would be classified as a fruit note. that I would say are very seductive. Fig would kind of fit into this category as well, but that's what you get with this. It is a plum fragrance. To me, there's kind of an incensey feel to this scent, and I love the dry down with that immortelle and the amber. The immortelle give this sweet, almost honey-like nuance to this fragrance, and then of course you have the amber accord when it dries down. This stuff is absolutely phenomenal. Again, I want to say it was so hard to do this top 10, man, because I could see any of these fragrances being number one on most people's lists. That's how good these 10 are to me. So it was difficult, but as of right now, and this could change maybe probably in a month or so, but right now, the 6th spot I would give to this one, Plum Japonais. All right, now coming in the 5th spot, I have ranted and raved about this fragrance, but once I really sat down and went through all these fragrances, this ended up being in the number 5 spot, and this is Tobacco Oud. I really enjoy Tobacco Oud, but again, it's so hard, man, especially when you see what's kind of ahead of this fragrance. You'll see why. But what you're gonna get here is this is fragrance I would say is slightly animalic. It's not for everybody, but it is certainly for this guy right here. Tobacco Oud. There's a whiskey note in here as well. I definitely get some incense and some ambery touches on the dry down. Guys, listen, amber to me gives fragrances a really sexy feel, and this is one of the sexiest fragrances in my collection. If I did like a top 10 sexy fragrances in my entire collection, this is going to be on it. All right, just a really, really masculine tobacco oud fragrance, and again, as the name indicates, and this is a phenomenal scent. Again, it's crazy to me when I look at the order, because there's been times this has been in my top 2. There's been a few moments where I felt like it was number 1, but for right now, it comes in the 5th spot. And again, this one is Tobacco Oud. All right, coming in the 4th spot, I want to send a quick shout out to my man Johnny Ray. If you are out there, guys, this kind of fragrance has been discontinued for a while. It's really hard to come by, and I was in one of the tomford groups, and I saw my man Johnny Ray post this fragrance for sale, and I got a story behind it. And I'll tell you about that more, but let me show you the bottle. I'm talking about Amber Absolute. I am now the proud owner of a 100 ml bottle of Amber Absolute. And I thought I would never get my hands on this fragrance in this size bottle, and thanks to Johnny, I did. This is amber, incense, labdanum, orbanum, and really the 2 notes really you get an amber accord and incense. That's really what the fragrance is really all about. This is so well done. And again, it's crazy that this is right now in the 4th spot. There's obviously been times where this has been number 1. Right now it's number 4. But I acquired this 100 ml bottle, and right before that, I had actually just found a 50 ml bottle, full presentation of this one as well. So what I'm thinking about doing here, all right, you're going to pay a premium, guys, when you're going for something that's discontinued. So I paid $4.50 for this bottle. It's full presentation, 50 ml bottle. All right. And but when I saw the 100 ml, I am, of course, you guys know I'm a fan of the 100 ml size bottles. And the price that he sold it for, I couldn't really pass it up, because if you find a 100 ml bottle is such a unicorn of Amber Absolute, most of the time you're looking at over $1,000. So I had to have it when I saw the price that he sold it for. And I also have a flacon that I purchased last year that has about 40 ml in it. So I think I'm probably going to sell this 50 ml bottle, because the 100 ml plus what I have is enough. And I'll give somebody what I would say a pretty good deal on it. I just got it and paid about $4.50 for it. I'll sell this for $3.75. Now, so if you're interested in getting this 50 ml bottle of Amber Absolute, then you can email me, bowtiefragranceguy@gmail.com, if you're serious. All right. When you email me, you better be ready, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a few takers on this. I'll do it for $3.75. It's got to be Cash App or either PayPal, friends and family. All right. So if you are interested in that 50 ml bottle of Amber Absolute, make sure you send me an email, and I'll get back to you ASAP. But Amber Absolute is in the 4th spot. I love amber, and this certainly is one of the top 3 amber fragrances in my entire collection. Probably number 1, 1 or 2 for sure, probably. But there's just a few others on here that right now is just kind of, when I went through and kind of smelled everything, this is where I put it. All right, no other really explanation for it. I love it, but right now it's in the 4th spot, okay? It'll probably change tomorrow, but right now in the 4th spot, Amber Absolute. Now coming in at the 3rd spot is this one right here, Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille, probably the most popular Tom Ford private blend. Tobacco Vanille, you get tobacco, cacao, vanilla, dried fruits, and it is just phenomenal. One of the things that I did with these top 5 is I kind of went, when I had them close by one another in my ranking, I put them side by side. What drew me in more? And that's what I did. It was kind of out of this in Amber Absolute for number 3 and 4. I put them side by side. This one kept calling my name a little bit, just a little bit more than Amber Absolute. And that's how I came up with the ranking of 3 and 4. Now the top 2, already knew what these were. But this middle got really, really hard to decipher what I liked the most. So when I was trying to figure it out, I put one on one hand, one on the other, and this one called my name just a little bit more than Amber Absolute. Phenomenal fragrance, man. It was just brilliant to combine the tobacco with the dried fruits and the vanilla. You know, this thing is just, it's next level good. I cannot tell you how good this fragrance is. And that's a testament to how good the first 2 are to me, with the fact that this came in 3rd place. So the 3rd spot goes to this one right here. This is a classic. This is Tobacco Vanille. Now coming in the number 2 spot, which is a fragrance that you'll probably not find on anybody else's list that has ever talked about Tom Ford fragrances, top 5, 10, anything. But it is number 2 on my list because seriously, I am head over heels for this fragrance. I love this one. And this is Fougere Platine. This is Fougere Platine. Number 1, I love Fougeres. All right, but what you get with this one is some clary sage, some basil, lavender. There is honey and tobacco. So what that does to me is it gives a different twist to a traditional fougere. Guys, I dress up a lot. Suits, shirt, and a tie. And I've said before and I'll say again, the best fragrance type to wear with a suit and a tie is going to be, in my opinion, a fougere or a chypre. Nothing says more masculine, traditional than the suit itself, and then a fougere and a chypre. And this is a fougere with an extremely sexy twist with the addition of that tobacco and honey. Super creative. Nothing I've ever seen before with any other fragrance. So I love the unique factor of this fragrance. That honey, again, gives that really sexy sweetness, and then that tobacco gives a slight kind of smokiness to it. Next level. Lavender is in here, obviously. It's a fougere, but my God, guys, this thing is phenomenal. Seriously. It is what it is. Other people aren't talking about it. That's fine. It is what it is. And that just means there's more for me. I think it's been discontinued, but because it's not talked about as much, there are bottles out there. So while you can get this for around $250, $275 in most places for 100 ml, that's absolutely stealing. So check it out. The number 2 spot in my Tom Ford private blend collection goes to Fougere Platine. And coming in at the number 1 spot, this should come as no surprise to anybody that's been following my channel for any length of time, because you should know how much I love this fragrance. The number 1 spot goes to this in this oud wood. Say it with me, people. Oud wood is oud good. Yep. Love this stuff right here. You're going to get sandalwood, Brazilian rosewood, tonka bean, oud, cardamom. It is so good. This is so good. I have all the other products that I was able to find on this fragrance. And when I sit back and I think about it, when you talk about how much you love a fragrance, I think sometimes the usability of it is one thing, but also, you know, how much have you actually put this fragrance on your skin? How many times have you gone to your fragrances and said, this is what I'm choosing to wear today? And the more fragrances you have is more of a testament when you are running through a fragrance. Now, I've used a whole 50 ml bottle of this, and if you look at this bottle, I've used quite a bit of this one as well. You know, I have the shower gel, the beard oil, the body spray. Again, pretty much anything I can find that is of the oudwood scent variety I have. That's a testament to how much I like this fragrance. And it's as simple as that. That's why it's in the #1 spot. Like, seriously, if I could only have one of these, this would probably be my choice. It's versatile. It smells great. It gets compliments. I can wear it pretty much anywhere, any season, any reason. It's this one, #1 in my Tomford Private Blend collection is oud wood. Oud wood is oud good. Yep. But that is it, guys. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today that I gave you in my collection, in my opinion, my top 10 Tomford Private Blend fragrances. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do. And I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to make sure you take out a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darian. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.